Hey guys, HardlyBriefDan here with another episode of our Game of the Month, Canada Assault. And where we left off last time was we added a GUI style, and we got our play button working, we got our scene transition working. So if I go ahead and go into our menu GUI, I'm going to quickly open this up in Model Develop. You can take a look at it. We're changing between our high score menu, our main menu. We still haven't created our game over menu, which we can also do today, or actually we'll probably do in the next video, but depending on how much time we have. But basically today I'm going to do a few things in Inkscape. Now, I told you guys that Inkscape was going to be the program I was going to use to draw the basic premise for the game, and or to draw the artwork for the game, which you guys don't have to use Inkscape, but it's a free vector drawing program, so it's easier for me to get some basic artwork down. So basically what I'm going to be doing is just creating a few set pieces that I can test with. This probably won't be the final artwork. I'll probably make a separate video, like a time-lapse video maybe, of me doing some more artwork. But I just want to get some basic shapes down that we can kind of program and figure out how we like. So first off though, I'm going to be grabbing a, over here, it's a rectangle. It creates rectangles and squares. As you can see, this is one. Don't worry too much about the color right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to, don't care about the height. We're going to change the width to 1920 because that's the width of my screen size, the resolution that I'm using, 16:9 as well, that we have it set up right now in our game. Depending on the screen of your monitor or the screen that you're aiming for development, you want to change that. But like I said, I'm doing 16:9 or 1920 by 1080p, so I'm going to have the width be 1920. Now I'm going to make this be our ground, so I'm going to use a brown, just using the color palette down here. Let's see, maybe we can even do a little gradient. So what we're going to do, alright, yeah, I'm going to grab this, going to copy, actually, Control D to duplicate, Control to drag straight up and down. And with this, I'm actually going to make it a darker color, probably blue, yeah. And I'm going to grab the gradient tool, which is this box, this greenish white box with two little blocks and a line in it. Click that. I'm going to go up to this, and we're actually going to drag straight down, about like that. Okay, I'm going to grab the object, I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to drag down. Now you're wondering, why is it like that? Well, what I'm going to be doing is going to go to Object. I dragged it down over top. I'm going to go to Object. I'm going to go to, actually, make sure you clicked on the object that we just, the one that we did the gradient tool. I'm going to drag it. We have a border. I don't want that border. Actually, I do. I'm going to make it a dark border. I want to fix, if you see there's a border on it, I don't want that border there. To color the border by itself, you can do Control and click. I actually want the border, but I want it to be the same color, so it's all the same color. So if you want to color the inside of it, you click left click to do the inside, and then shift left click to do the border. So, yep. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to grab the gradient tool again. Going to go ahead and drag it straight down. Kind of messed up there. I don't know, it just went all wonky on me. Going to grab it again. We're going to give it another shot. Okay. And if you guys are wondering how I'm zooming in, you can, to scroll up and down, you just use your scroll wheel to scroll up and down. To zoom in, you hold Control, zoom in, and then you just scroll wheel. To go left and right, you hold Shift. So Shift and scroll up goes left, Shift, scroll down goes right. Just a few little tips for you guys. Alright, so click the top object that we use a gradient tool on. Drop down to the fill and stroke down here and double click it. It should open up this fill and stroke window. We are going to go down, we're going to change the opacity of this to about, probably, let's try 75. Wow. 75. Gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hold control. I'm gonna drag this down. I'm trying to create a kind of more of a gradient effect itself, but I don't. Maybe if I change the color. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. Let's see. Let's grab this gradient tool again. There we go. That's more the effect I wanted. So what I did here is I changed the base color. I'm going to actually change it to a gray of our ground. And then I changed the opacity on this one. And I'm doing this so that we kind of get this effect. And now I'm just adjusting the corner so that it's 1080p. Looks pretty good. It's not exact, but what we'll do is you can go ahead and zoom out. You can select all by just scrolling or clicking off and then scrolling or moving the mouse down so it selects both shapes. If you want, you can click one, hold shift, and click the other. But I go ahead and do that. And then what we're going to do is fix the width to 10. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be our ground. I'm going to try to be a little faster, but this is the ground we're going to use. It's just a placement for now. Going to go ahead and select it, and then I'm going to hit Export Bitmap, and I'm going to browse. I'm going to save it to my desktop for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it Ground Game of the Month August. Okay. Gonna hit export, it exported it, now we have a ground. Okay, I'm now going to move that down, and I'm gonna create another object, or another square. I'm gonna go back into opacity. We want opacity 100%. We're gonna make this one, go ahead and click it. We're gonna make this one 1920, and I'm gonna make it by 1080p, so 1080. And this is gonna be our background. So I want my background right now to be a... Actually going to grab a darker purple. So like that. And I'm going to grab... I'm going to make another... Actually, I'm going to copy this box that's down here. I'm going to control... I really like that effect. I think it looks kind of cool. Okay, and then I'm going to just experiment. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I thought I'd try to make it a little pretty this first time around. What's going on? Trying to figure out how I want to do this. I kind of like that. So then basically what would happen is this whole thing would go down. And this would kind of be our background. It's not really... Actually, that's like 100% what I'm going to do. Okay, so we got our background. I put a very, very tiny gradient on it just because when it looks cool, I think this little white on the bottom there, this little white glow. So what I'm going to do is this would be our background. I'm going to go ahead and export that again. So I'm going to export the bitmap. I'm going to browse. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to do, instead of ground August, game of the month August, I'm going to do sky. Save, export. Now the next thing I'm going to do is grab a circle. I'm going to go ahead and set the circle to 500 and 500. So it's a perfect circle. I'm going to go ahead and just make this gray. This is going to be our cannon, and you might be wondering, that's a weird looking cannon, but just go with it for now. Export the bitmap. I'm going to, again, browse desktop for me. I'm going to click on ground. We're going to name this cannon. I'm going to call it cannon base. Export that. And then the last thing we're going to do is make just a straight rectangle. Okay, that's the... Actually, what I want to do, grab this again, page down to put it below it, like that. I'm going to make it a little tinier. If you... Okay, select it all, go to Object, go to Align and Distribute, and we're going to make them center. So basically I selected them and I centered them using this button, Center on Vertical Axis. So we centered it like that. I'm going to go ahead and select this. I'm going to export bitmap. I'm going to browse. I'm going to click the old base cannon. I'm going to save it to that because I'm going to replace that. Hit replace. And I know I did that pretty fast. I didn't explain too much what I did. But basically I just created a circle, or a background, which is this purple thing, our base, which is this brown and gray, and I create this gray cannon. And that's the base for our cannon rotation and our backdrop. But this will be something to play around with in Unity. So go ahead and go to Unity. I'm going to go ahead and open up File Explorer. It's on my other monitor. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop in our artwork folder over here. I'm going to drag and drop our sky background, our ground, and then our cannon. Okay, so in our artwork folder, now we have 3 objects here. We have our background, which I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop into our, actually, go to our play scene. Going to drag and drop that into our play scene. Going to reset it to 0. So there we go, we got a play scene now. Going to go ahead and click our cannon, our ground. Drag that in here. So there we go, we got our background. If I go ahead and press play, the opacity doesn't look good here because you can't really see it in Unity, which is okay. Actually, that looks pretty good like that, I'm thinking. Yeah, okay, so this is the play scene. Here, see, so I used 2 objects. I used our base ground and then our background. Now what we're going to do is going to grab the cannon, and I'm going to demonstrate to you guys kind of what I want the cannon to do. And we're actually going to go into layers, I think. So if you look here, we have sorting layers. We have default and add. We're going to go ahead and add a couple layers. I think it's under layer 0. We're going to add one. We're going to call this sky. We're going to add a layer, and we're going to call it cannon. Or we're going to play objects. We might have to add a few more. And we're going to create one more, and we're going to call it ground. And I think this organizes. So if I set the sky, we'll go ahead and set default the sky. We're going to set cannon to play objects, and we're going to set ground to ground. So what this just did is it sorted our background so that it literally layered it. So maybe if I can get a side view, it's gonna be super hard to see. Yeah, it's not even gonna show you. How I just did that is I hit this 2D button and it puts it to the side so you can see it. I'm gonna hit 2D again and put us right in front so it's flat. But what it did is that we're basically making a sandwich. I wanted this cannon behind the ground, so when I go ahead and press play, it looks like the cannon's actually behind the ground, or on top of the ground, and not just over it. But we're still over the sky. And this is, you use these layers to create more in-depth, dynamic looking scenes. So what I want to do now is grab our cannon. I'm going to actually shrink it down a little bit because it's huge and we don't need it that big. Go ahead and press play. And that's about the size of the cannon we want. I'm going to go ahead and make it a little smaller and kind of show you my idea of how we're going to twist the cannon. This is not a great this is not the best way to do this, but it's a simple way. And what we'll do to rotate the camera is, if you see it's at the rotation 0, 0, 0, and we're just going to change the Z. We're going to rotate the Z. So if I go ahead and press play now, you see it looks like the cannon's rotated and we're firing this way. So I'm going to actually go ahead and press play. I'm going to not maximize on play. And I'm going to try, I want you guys to concentrate down here. I'm going to go ahead and press play, and I'm going to actually twist our cannon. So it's not perfect because you see how it gets fatter at one end, but it doesn't look bad, and that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to actually grab this transform and rotate the Y based on our mouse. So if we go left, it's going to rotate it like this. If I move the mouse right, we're going to rotate and go like this. And then when you hit the mouse button, I guess we'll do left mouse button, it fires bullets or missiles, whatever we decide later on. But so that's a basic idea of what we're going to do for this. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to start creating a script for our gameplay, and it's going to be basic mouse movement. So I'm going to go ahead and go into our scripts folder. In our play scene folder, I'm going to create a new folder, and we're going to call it Cannon Control. We're going to go ahead and create a C# script, and we're going to call it Cannon Mouse Control. Going to save that. Going to open that up in MonoDevelop. It's right here. We're going to keep these functions for now, and I'm just going to go ahead and say comment a few things that we want this script to do. Okay, there's three basic things. Things we want this script to handle. The first one is we want mouse movement. The second is we want mouse firing. And really the third is these mouse movement. It's 1 and 2. It's mouse movement left. We'll call it mouse movement left, and then mouse movement right. And these are the three. We want left, right, and then firing. I think for now we're going to say left mouse button fires cannon. Okay, and then we're going to say moving mouse right turns cannon right. And we're going to say moving mouse left turns cannon left. So if you can imagine, you just moving the mouse left and right, it's going to twist our cannon. And then when you mash, we're going to be mashing that left mouse button, and when we mash that left mouse button, it's going to fire that cannon back and forth. Okay, so now what we want to do is start working on our left and mouse buttons. So in our update function, we're going to actually just look, debug log. We're going to look for our mouse movement. So we're going to go input.mouse. Let's actually get axis, and then I believe it's horizontal. I'm going to go ahead and control to save that. I'm going to go into Unity, and we're going to see if we get any errors. We shouldn't. Good. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop. I'm going to create a new game object, and we're going to go up to game object, create an empty game object, and we're going to call it play objects. Or we'll call it play scripts. I'll probably change the name of that, but basically I'm going to put play scripts on here for now. We're going to actually attach this. I'm going to attach the Canon mouse control to play scripts for now, but what we want to do is actually attach that to the Canon later. I'm going to go ahead to go in our console. And we're still getting 0. I thought it was horizontal. It might be. Go go to, we're getting our get axis dot horizontal dot. So we're looking for, yeah, go to projects, go to edit, go to project settings, go to input manager. You can look at our axes. This is where you can kind of decide what you want everything to do. So here's our horizontal. We're looking for, okay, so I'm using the wrong ones. Basically we want our mouse X and mouse Y. I'm getting confused with our Unity, the Make an RPG, and then this one. But basically here we go. We want mouse X for our left and right direction, I think, and then our Y for up and down. So we'll do X. It's called X, so I'm just gonna go ahead and double click or mouse over that, Control C to copy it. We're gonna jump back into model development. We're gonna get rid of horizontal. Horizontal's for your A and D movement, so we want mouse X. Control X to save. Go back into Unity. Gonna look at the console, and now you see our movement. So if it's 0, we're not doing anything. But if we go right, you can see we get positive values, and we go left, we get negative values. And it's based on speed. But we just want to see if it's greater than 0 or less than 0, because we're not going to, I don't know if we want speed yet, but basically if we want to incorporate speed, maybe if you guys want to incorporate speed with the mouse, so let's say if you slam it hard to the left, it moves to the left really fast, or if we just want to gradually do it, it might feel more intuitive. If we are going to rotate it to the left based on the mouse speed, it might feel control-wise better if we do that. But like I said, you guys write in the comments, just tell me what you want to do for that, and we can do it. If I don't get enough comments by the time I make the next video, I'll decide, but it's easily changeable. Next thing I want to do is, so now we're getting our mouse X button. We know it's coming. So what we want to do is create a couple if statements, and we're going to go if this input dot get axis, and again it's going to be a mouse X. So we're going to say if this is greater than 0, then if you remember, we were moving, I believe we were moving right. So we're going to go debug.log, and we're going to say moving right. And then we're going to create another if statement. We're going to go if input dot get axis, and we're going to go mouse X. So use your quotes, mouse X. Okay. So if our input dot get axis mouse X is now less than 0, then we want to say we're moving left. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to use my arrow keys. Grab all that. Debug statement. Come down here. Control V to paste. We're going to change right to left. Controls to save. And now I'm going to actually, we're going to keep this up here just so that we know which way it's moving. So if we have positive, we should see that we're moving left or right. If we have negative, we should be moving left. Controls to save again, go into Unity, and we're going to hit play. Don't worry about those errors. And now, okay, it's working right. So you can see on the screen that I'm now moving my mouse left, and you see that we're moving left up on the debug, and now I'm going to move right. Now we're moving right. So it knows which way we're moving, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now we can actually add some transform movement. So I'm going to, all we need to do is go transform dot rotate. I think we wanted to do, yeah, rotate. It's going to take a new vector 3. I guess this is actually be a 2 because it's XY coordinates. And we're going to do, I'm going to pass it a 3 just in case because I'm not exactly sure. But we'll go 0, 0. And we're going to change the Z. So we're going to add, we're actually going to put this input get axis for now. Going to control to save. Going to go into Unity. We might get an error. I don't know if I did that correctly. We didn't. But what we want to do is get go ahead and remove this component off the cannon. I'm on play scripts game object. Go ahead and remove the component. And we're actually going to attach it to our cannon base. So go ahead and drag the script up, attach it to the cannon base. It's now on there. So I'm going to go ahead to the scene. I'm going to go ahead and press play. And we're going to see if it, as you see, it's rotating. It's rotating the wrong way. It's actually rotating left. So we want to make this negative. Controls to save, go back into Unity. There we go. You see it's moving left now, or moving to the right when I move the mouse right. I'm going to go ahead and excuse that beeping in the background. I'm going to go ahead and select the transform code again. Put it down here, and instead of making this negative, we'll make it positive. Control is to save. Go into Unity, and now, okay, so it needed to say negative, excuse me. That makes sense because this is a negative value, so it creates it makes it positive. Controls to save, go into Unity. And now we have rotation. I'm going to go ahead and set this rotation back to 0 because if it doesn't start at 0, it feels kind of awkward. Control. So what I did is I'm still clicked on the cannon. I went to rotation over here under transform in the inspector, and I made it 0, 0, 0. Controls to save. And now we have cannon rotation. So the last thing we're going to implement in this script for today is fire, a firing button. And so we're just going to be looking for one more thing. We're going to go if input dot, and now it's going to be mouse button down, and I think it's 0 for the left one. I don't remember, but we can double check. And we're going to make a debug.log, and we're going to just say fire, fire, fire. And this is just going to let us know if it's working. This should be a capital L, not lowercase. So control is to save. We're going to jump back into Unity. Going to go ahead and press play. Going to open up the console, and you see the fire, fire, fire button. I'm going to go ahead and press play to stop it. I'm going to actually comment out this top debug statement because we don't need to see that right now. We know that it works. So jump back into Unity. Go ahead and press play. You're going to see that I was just moving left, moving right. Now you see me pressing fire. So it's registering that I'm pressing left and I'm moving right. There's one issue, and I want to show you. Basically, if I'm moving, it's not going to let me fire because I made it an if statement. We want it to be an else if, so that it continually does it. Controls to save. Going to go back into Unity. Actually, no, I had it right the first time. It's just that because there's so much. It's not else if. We want it to trigger every time. We want the fire, though, to come first. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to paste it above the movement because I think it's more important than the movement. So it's going to basically go if the left mouse button's down, do this. If we're moving left, we're moving right, do this. Control to save, go into Unity. Actually, go back into Model Develop. Comment out this moving right. You comment something out, by the way, if you don't know this, by using the /. Control to save, go into Unity. Go ahead and press play, and now we're firing. Now we can mash. Look at that. Perfect. And I'm starting to think, as I play around, I think we are, I don't know, I like this cannon. It seems to work fine. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, I'm going to leave the video here for now. We created a script. Well, first we did some artwork, simple artwork, and then we created a brand new script that allows us to rotate our camera, or our cannon, excuse me, left and right, and then fire using the mouse button. Stay tuned for the next video. Should be out in a couple days or so. If you like this one, please like, subscribe, and share it to all your friends and family. Thank you for all the support. I can't believe I'm almost at 500 subscribers. It's crazy. But I hope you guys liked the video. Hope you learned something new with either coding or an Inkscape, and I'll talk to you guys next time.